It's 7 a.m. in the morning. I just woke up and 3 new follow-ups and 20 new messages, fully personalized, waiting for me to be sent. I just only have to click one link, open it, and immediately I'm ready to be sending this message to this person with a personalized note and full research about his company. But it was not me. This is my AI employee that worked for me while I was sleeping. But first, let's talk about why outreach falls apart in the first place. Usually it's not because the messages are bad, but it's because nobody sends them actually. And with these specific automations, consistency is the key. And usually the fix is not that you should try harder or send more messages at one day, but to remove yourself as much as you can from the loop. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do it. The tool that I'm using is called a Claude routine. The good thing about it is that it runs by itself. It doesn't need your input every single morning, as it doesn't need for you to remember that you should press a button or run this workflow. It's not a chatbot. It's much more than that. You only have to describe the task once, just like you would do with a new hire. And after that, it just runs. Every single night, or however you set the schedule, it will run automatically without you actually touching the system. But let's break that apart. What is it exactly and how does it work? It has 4 parts: the brain, the hands, the memory, and the clock. And if you miss one of these or don't understand what they are doing, then the whole system falls apart. Let's start with part 1, which is the brain. It's basically a system prompt which tells the AI employee how it should operate. It's a full job description which he will understand how to execute every single time. And the good part is that you only have to write this job description once. It tells the AI who are you exactly looking for. If they are CEOs, CFOs, if they are within a certain budget, or for example, they are earning above 100 million in revenue, or anything basically you can filter. After telling what a good prospect actually looks like to your AI employee and how you would like to research them and get the data from them, you will get these specific persons that you're targeting and not just generic ones. And besides that, you can tell your AI employee what to never do. These are the don'ts that you just basically set as a rule set. And if we follow these rules, for example, not putting M dashes in emails or using their first name only when sending an outreach messages. If you would like to know what my don'ts and what my do's are, just comment below and I will send it over. One of these is as an example for me is that if you don't find sufficient data, then just skip it. Go for the next one. I know it's token intensive, so you already researched halfway this person, but just skip it. If you don't find, for example, a LinkedIn URL, then I cannot even use this contact. So just skip and go for the next one. And also one really important rule is that you don't write generic messages in this job description. Just like you would not do it with a human, you would not do it with an AI employee either. Because that's usually the main cause why you're getting inconsistent outputs from your AI employee. But let's jump to the part 2, which are the hands. We described so far what your AI employee actually needs to do, and now you're giving it hands. Hands are the tools that it can use to execute these workflows, such as API keys, which are basically a key and an access to your personal accounts of, for example, Gmail or any other app. And it enables your AI to communicate with that app and get data back and forth through these different applications that you can use. There are not native connectors, but there are also native connectors within Claude. They are basically just one button away to connect, such as Gmail or Outlook or your Google Drive. But there are more complicated ones, for example, the Apollo, which requires this long key, this API key, to connect to your account. It's basically just a password for every single tool that you are using within the process. For me, there are 3 categories in the outreach system: the lead database, the research tools, and my inbox. And the fun part with this one as well, then you only have to do it once. So when you pasted this password or API key into your credentials, then it will be there for a long, long time. But here it's important to mention that if someone has access to your API key, then it has access to your whole account. So make sure that you rotate them every once in a while or set a deadline for it. So for example, it expires in 90 days because that will keep your account safe. My specific outreach routine is only using 2 API keys. One which finds the leads, it's called Apollo. The second one researches them, which is Sonar Deep Research. And now we're jumping to the third part, which is the memory. And this part is usually the part that everyone forgets because right now it runs pretty smoothly. It researches your leads. It just sends you the badge that you should send, but it needs memory. Who did you send so far, just for tracking and just to measure how this whole campaign is performing so far. For me, it's a GitHub repo, which is private, and it just basically uploads every single time the 20 new leads and the follow-ups that I need to send. After I'm sending all of these messages, it just needs to confirm that these were sent and switches one column from ready to send to send. Besides that, in your memory, it has also your brand guidelines. For example, your signature, how you sign off an email, or so message templates basically enables you to not craft a new message every single time. It just fills in the required criteria such as first name or achievement that they achieved in the past 6 months, and then his company name. And after that, it will be ready to send, and you will be sending the same successful messages over and over again. And as the tone of voice, it is like what I sound like and what I never do. For example, dashes is something that I never do. How I sound is, for example, saying best wishes at the end and not best regards. That's just an example. I don't do that actually. And that's why the drafts are sounding like me and not like the generic ones, because I provided example for this, which is stored in the memory. This requires one folder and one source of truth, which can be referenced and always can be used as the source of truth. And the fourth one is a clock at a certain time to be executed every day or once a week, twice a day, twice a week. And you just basically set this as your schedule. For me, it's 6 a.m. since I wake up at 7 usually. And that's the time that I want it to be ready. 6 a.m. it researches everything. At 7, I already have the full batch. It's not when I remember or when I have time. It just automatically does it at 6 a.m. even though I'm not there at my computer. It runs in the cloud, so it means that I don't have to turn on my computer actually. But let's look at the full picture, what happens while I was sleeping. At 6 a.m. it wakes up, pulls the fresh leads. At 6:10 it researches every single ones. And after 6:30 it writes in my voice the full personalized outreach messages. And at 6:50 it packs it into one email and puts it into my drafts folder. And 7 a.m. I'm awake, enjoying my coffee and sending these emails in 10 minutes each and every single day. My job is only reduced to reviewing and sending and focusing on building the system rather than researching these contacts. And some of you may say that you can do it by yourself, but for me, it saves a ton of time, which I can focus on creating better systems and creating something which will drive my company further. And you might be right when you say that it's actually costing you money, but this is a trade that you're making your money in exchange for your time. And I would like you to think about this as an AI employee and not like a tool. It's not like a ChatGPT chat that you open, just type your things into it, and it responds with your new leads, which are not really researched. But it's more like a tool, like a sequence. It operates one by one, step by step, and it's like an employee that executes this workflow every single morning. And also it works on Saturdays and Sundays, which is an extra perk. And now I would like to finish off with the honest numbers, how I used to do it and how is it now. I used to spend 2 hours a day, but now it reduced to 10 minutes each and every day. I used to forget some follow-ups and I didn't send them, but now I got reminded who to follow up and with what message should I follow up, which also saves a lot of money and time. And it's absolutely more consistent than I was before. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something new. If you're someone who would like me to build it out for you, then just give me a message down in the comments. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.